Eid Mar Elias. In Syria and Lebanon, Christian children traditionally celebrate their saint's day instead of their birthday. Those who are named Paul, Boulos, for example, celebrate St. Paul's Day as their own feast day or Eid. Since my name is Aliyah, my feast day is Mar Elias. When I was a child, the celebration lasted all day. It began when we went to church named St. Elias, and the main yard of the church, Naubis, musical bands from surrounding villages would assemble, sword and dubki dancers would arrive, children, dogs, and beggars thronged through the churchyard in large numbers. The young men, Shabab, would try to impress the young ladies, Sabaya, and their prowess in foot races, weightlifting, occasionally horse races. Those children named after the saint were given new clothes and more than the usual spending money to buy and sample all the treats offered for sale by the various vendors. In the late afternoon, tired and happy, we would return home to wait for friends and relatives to come with more gifts and good wishes. And one thing that I want to say about this is when Daddy told us his story, he also said that on that feast day, on that day, he received, they would receive their pair of shoes for the year. And so Daddy got his pair of shoes, and that was the pair of shoes for the year. And he was so excited by his new shoes that he would sleep with them underneath his pillow to keep them nice and pristine and clean. And Teta would come and find them and get mad at him, but he put them underneath his pillow to keep them in the safe place. And I can say that all these years later, my dad has a very special relationship with shoes. And I never really knew why, but he really values the shoes. And he thinks it's important to have a good pair of shoes. And after knowing this story and learning about this and the shoes and his association with it and how important something we take for granted and we don't think about very often is a pair of shoes, and how shoes give you dignity, and how shoes are, such a symbol of carrying you to your dreams. And also on the other hand, they can make you run away from danger. So there's the duality of shoes and what they symbolize. And I use that element of shoes in my work quite a bit. Think that shoes embody so much that, and so many of us do not take for granted a pair of shoes. In a camp in Jordan, for instance, one of the largest camps holding 150,000 Syrian refugees, Zatri camp, one of the tents, they decided to teach the children Shakespeare. And, one would think, why would you want to learn about Shakespeare in the middle of this war and, survival of food and water and shelter? And in that Shakespeare tent, the first thing that they did when the children entered the tent was to give them a pair of shoes, out of a sign of respect and out of what we keep, this word that we've used in our talk earlier, also in these stories, this word that you brought up, dignity. And shoes are a symbol of dignity and respect, and I think possess so much.